Well, now City Heat's medical director, paramedic Tony Garan, is going to tell us a little bit about the right procedures when you encounter eye irritation.
Hello and welcome to another medical segment here on City Heat. Today I would like to discuss a common hazard which many of us have encountered at one time or another. I'm speaking of eye irritation due to chemical contact. The risk of getting chemicals into our eyes is very great, especially when working with sprays or powders. Using a spray product in a windy condition, such as spraying outdoor plants with insecticide, using cleaning solvents on machineries, or applying sprays or powders in an unsafe manner can lead to severe eye damage. Another common way of introducing chemicals into the eyes is to touch your eyes after spilling chemicals on your hands. Here's how easily it can happen. If you do accidentally get chemicals in your eyes, here's what to do in order to avoid or minimize any possible damage. Wipe off any excess chemicals from the eyes and face. Use copious amounts of water and flush away the remaining chemicals from the eyes. Do this for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Also be sure to read the warning labels on these products for initial first aid or contact poison control for additional help. If irritation or blurred vision persists after taking these measures, call 911 or have someone take you to the emergency room. But please, don't hesitate to call 911 anytime during this process. The extent of eye damage due to chemical contact can range from no long-term effects to severe damage or blindness. The best advice I can give is to caution you to use extreme care when working with chemicals. So until next time, I will be keeping an eye out for you. I'm firefighter paramedic Tony Garan.
Well, next, City Heat's medical director, firefighter paramedic Tony Garan, is going to tell you a little bit more about some of the things you can do during certain emergencies. Tony?
Hi, I'm Tony Garan. Today I'm going to be talking about immobilizing fractures of extremities using splints. Splints are devices applied to arms or legs to immobilize an injured part when a suspected fracture has occurred. Of major concern when a fracture is suspected is the further possibility of injuries. This can occur when a fractured bone moves around, causing further damage to soft tissues or vessels near the fractured site. Reducing these additional injuries is the primary goal of immobilization and splinting. Splinting also reduces the pain and discomfort of the injured person. Many types of splints are available commercially. However, most of us do not carry these splints with us. So we must improvise and learn to make splints out of common everyday items. These splints could be made out of pillows, magazines, blankets, towels, or rolled up newspapers, just to name a few. Here we can use a pillow to immobilize an injured ankle. Simply wrap the ankle with the pillow and secure it with tape or cravat. An important consideration with fractures is possible compromise of circulation to the affected extremity. This can be checked by feeling for a pulse distal to the injury and checking the capillary refill. This can be done by squeezing the nail bed. If the color of the nail bed does not return within 2 seconds, there may be some compromise of circulation to the injured area. Prompt transport to an emergency room is necessary for all suspected fractures, but circulation compromise due to a fracture is especially urgent. Another possible way to splint an ankle is the use of a blanket. Roll the blanket up and fold it until you get the desired length. Then wrap around the ankle and secure carefully. This should be sufficient until you can get to an emergency room. When splinting upper extremities, a magazine or a rolled-up newspaper is a useful tool for immobilizing a fractured wrist or arm. Be sure to pad your splint to reduce the discomfort. A towel could be used to effectively pad your splint. Once you have accomplished that, just wrap the magazine around the injured area and secure. Well, I hope you found this segment helpful. And though you may never need to splint someone's arm or leg, at least you know a splint can be made out of just about anything. So until next time, I'm firefighter paramedic Tony Garan.
Most everyone is familiar with the term diabetes, but what exactly is it? Well, now here to enlighten us with the facts about this not so uncommon medical disorder is City Heat's medical director, paramedic Tony Garan.
Hello and welcome to the medical segment here on City Heat. Today I'd like to talk about diabetes. Diabetes is a serious incurable disease which affects millions of people here in the United States. And though diabetes is widely known, doctors have yet to find the exact cause. but they do know two things can happen when diabetes develops. One, the body does not produce enough insulin, or two, the body cannot make use of the insulin that is produced. Normally, the body changes food to a form of sugar called glucose. With diabetes, the body is not able to use food properly. Thus, high levels of sugar accumulate in the blood and the urine, and the kidneys have to work overtime to get the wasted sugar out of the body through urination. When these levels are high, sugar builds up in the blood. It can cause serious, life-threatening complications, such as blindness, heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, and possible amputation due to gangrene. Unfortunately, anyone can develop diabetes. However, people developing diabetes are usually over 40 years of age, and interestingly, more women than men tend to have diabetes. There's also a higher incidence of diabetes among people who are overweight, mothers who give birth to large babies, and those who have relatives who are diabetics. Some symptoms of diabetes include weight loss despite increased appetite, increased thirst, excessive urination, slow healing of cuts, itching of skin, and drowsiness. But the absence of these symptoms does not eliminate the possibility of diabetes. Consulting with your family doctor and taking a blood test is the only way to be sure. The usual treatment of diabetes consists of diet, insulin, and oral drugs which lower blood sugar or stimulate the pancreas to produce insulin output. These may be used alone, in combination, and in strict guidance with your doctor's instructions. Other treatments are also available, and you should consult with your doctor on which treatment is good for you. I hope I've been informative and given you a better understanding of diabetes. So until next time, I'm firefighter paramedic Tony Garan. Every year there are a number of people who are safe in cardiac arrest because someone took the time to learn CPR. CPR allows you to give life-sustaining oxygen to a person in cardiac arrest so help can arrive. It's quick and it's relatively easy to learn. There's usually a nominal fee charged for the CPR class to cover costs, but to get more information on when and where CPR courses are offered, contact your American Heart Association. The number to contact in the St. Petersburg area is listed on the bottom of the screen. But if you're out of town, you can still learn CPR. Just contact the American Heart Association in your local area, and they will provide you with the necessary information. So give the gift that saves lives and learn CPR today. I'm Tony Garan, and this has been a City Heat Safety Minute.
Well, although it's hurricane season here in Florida, pool safety is something we need to be concerned about all year. Now here's firefighter and paramedic Tony Garan to tell us a little bit about how we can make our families and friends a little more safe when around the pool.
Too often we in the emergency field hear people say, I only turn my back for just a few seconds. Unfortunately, just a few seconds is all it takes for a child to drown. Nationally, drowning is the second leading cause of unintentional death to children under age 5 in the home. In many states such as Arizona, California, Texas, and Florida, it is the #1 cause. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates several hundred people drown in backyard swimming pools each year. And of these several hundred people, nearly half involve children under the age of 5. Drowning happens quickly and without warning. In 77% of all drownings, the child was last seen less than 5 minutes before being found in the pool. 46% of the victims were last seen in the house prior to being found in the pool. And 23% of the children were last seen in the yard, porch, or patio prior to being involved in the accident. In all, 69% of the victims were not expected to be at or in the pool, yet they were found in the water. Here we are today at North Shore Swimming Pool with Paul Hulfacker, who is the pool supervisor, to ask him about how to make our swimming pool safe and what to do if someone is found drowning or drowned. You can ask him, Paul, how do we make our pool safe for people at home and their children?
Basically, the #1 is supervision. That is the leading cause of child drowning. As you stated earlier, that I just turned my back for a second, or I just went to answer the phone, or one thing after another. But basically, that is all it takes. So the adult supervision is a must. But as we know, things do happen, and sometimes that's not possible. So basically, if you go with fencing around your pool with self-latching and locking gates, okay, rescue equipment in good working order, such as reach poles and ring buoys, or if you can't afford that kind of equipment, just a plastic milk jug with a piece of rope on it. Anything will basically do, as long as it's something that floats or something that can extend your reach without you having to, get in the water. Also, another big thing that people are unaware of is knowing how to take care of the pool properly. A lot of times, these kids drown in pools that are real cloudy, haven't been maintained, there's a lot of algae growth, that type of thing. And it really does not take that much time to maintain a pool if they're willing to put forth the effort. And that will help out a lot. And if they're not going to take that time, then drain the pool. And that also can help. Also, too, lately it's been coming out in all the swimming pool shops and, big, like Scotty's and those type of stores. They have alarms that float in the pool that you can put on. And if someone, type of wave action hits the pool, it sounds an alarm for you to come back, knowing that someone has fallen into the pool, or it could be anything, but at least alert you to a possibility of a problem.
Okay, that's great. How important is adult supervision if your child already knows how to swim?
Well, basically, a lot of times that's the way it happens. Children tend to kind of overstep their bounds. As soon as they start swimming, they think, well, now that I swim, I can do anything, okay? And even though the parent says, no, you can't do that because whatever the reason, little Johnny figures, well, yes, I can because I know how to swim now. So they start maybe trying to go underwater a little too longer than they should, and, they just get out of breath, they end up taking in some water, and they, they basically, drown that way, or they can go down and get in trouble that way. Or basically, when they first start getting back in their swimming pools, they're not as strong as they were at the end of the summer from swimming all summer. So they try and think they can do what they were doing last summer, and they attempt that, and they get in trouble that way also.
Okay. What about for people who are older, don't know how to swim, and they go in their backyard, they see somebody drowning, or they see it, how do they help those people? What can we do?
Any person, non-swimmer or swimmer, can make a safe, effective rescue. It doesn't require any kind of lengthy training. It just requires basically a little bit of common sense to realize that you do have a person in trouble, and what you may do in those next few seconds could mean the difference between life and death. And simple things like having a pole that you can just extend to the person, could be a towel, anything you can send to them, something you can throw to them that floats. You could even actually go into the pool and make a wading rescue as long as the water doesn't come above your chest. Okay. Because once you get above your chest, your arms get above your head, and you lose that type of movement that you need to move your arms. But basically the idea is to stay out of the deep water, protect yourself, and then worry about getting the person to the side of the pool.
Okay, well, thank you. Swimming pools are fun and a great way to cool off in the summer. But be responsible and make your swimming pool safe for all who use it. Adults as well as children can become drowning victims. Nobody is waterproof. I'd like to thank the staff here at North Shore Swimming Pool, and for you for joining me this month. I'm firefighter paramedic Tony Duran, and I will see you next month on City Heat.